Okay, I want to take a minute to talk about the volume of a triangular prism. Now, the volume of a rectangular prism is actually the easiest one because it has rectangles. All six faces are rectangles, and we know that the volume of a rectangular prism is just the length times the width times the height. But what we're looking at here is actually how to find the volume of a triangular prism. So let's go back to thinking about the area of a triangle. First, let's look at our triangular prism over here, which is, it has a triangle at the top that has got a base of 10 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. And then the height of the entire prism is 15 centimeters. And if we remember what we talked about when we did area of a triangle, we know that a triangle like this one, this is a right triangle, and so it's got 10 for a base, 10 for a height. And we learned that every single triangle has a base and a height, and if you could actually put it inside of a rectangle with the same base and the same height. So let me draw this. This rectangle would actually be a square, right? Because all the sides would be 10. And we see that the triangle takes up half of the square. That's always true. And so, for example, this square would have an area of 100 square centimeters, which means that the triangle would be half of that. The triangle is 50 square centimeters. And if we know that, then we actually know this. We could imagine that this rectangular prism, that this triangular prism is actually half of a rectangular prism. So let me draw the rectangular prism that this would be half of. I could have a rectangular prism that's also 15 centimeters high, but at the top it would actually be a square, and the square would be 10 by 10. And we see that this would actually have a volume of 10 times 10 times 15, which would be 1,500 cubic centimeters. But our white rectangular prism is the same as that, except it's just cut in half. And so you actually would find the volume of the rectangular prism. You would divide it in half. 1,500 divided by 2. This is 750 cubic centimeters. Okay, and here's an easy way to think about it. Anytime you want to do volume, you could find out how many square units are on the base and multiply it times the height. And so you actually could think of it as the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 of the area of the rectangle, and you could do that times the height. The area of the triangle at the top, 10 times 10 is 100, half of 100 is 50. You would do 50 times 15, and you would get 750 cubic centimeters. That, remembering that the triangle is half of a rectangle with the same base and height, is really the only difference, and it makes it a lot easier to find the volume of a triangular prism.